Hey, welcome to BookMob episode 38. Today I'm going to be discussing reading the 6 Dune volumes by Frank Herbert. Now, Dune has got some prequels and some new episodes of Dune the series from Frank Herbert's son and someone else, but I'm just talking about the 6 books of the original series. Now, I started reading from Dune, the initial story, to Dune Chapter House from April 2024, and it's now, mid-June. I finished them about a week ago. So I've read all, through April and May, I read these novels. Now, that's a lot of pages to read. And, again, considering the amount of media that one is provided with, movies, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, the question is time, isn't it? How much time are you willing to give to reading, let alone one book, but 6? Now, I suggest that reading 6 books of any series is a worthwhile endeavour. But I'm not going to convince anyone to read 6 books of one series purely by my word, because I get this at the end of the day, it requires a huge amount of time. So I've got to talk about the what you get from reading Frank Herbert's Dune 1 to 6. And in my opinion, humble opinion, you get a wonderful universal view of how Herbert saw the world through the eyes of his creation, Dune. His ideas of politics, religion, social status, class war, and the intrigues of politics, how our so-called democratic, what are they called now? Democratic elites live in a world that is so separate from the lives and the worlds of their constituents. And I think Herbert in the Dune series beautifully explains how really it's the power and money and fame and basically the forming and maintaining of a society is really left up to a minority of people at the top of a massive sort of base, that they don't consider you as the individual. I mean, democracy makes so much about the individual. And the thing is, I guess at the end of the day, Dune does talk about the individual who is special. Paul Muad'Dib, the idea that in the masses, even though Paul Atreides was from from a powerful family, that he came along, this one individual came along and upturned the status quo of the society that he was living in. Now, the problem is, again, even the character of Paul Atreides, who became Muad'Dib, even though he becomes this leader of a new form, a new wave, a new sprout in society, it doesn't actually change anything at the top. Because at the top, all you've got is a despot. You've got a hierarchy that depends on the billions of people below it, but considers them very lightly. And I think in this day and age, if you want to, when you read Dune 1 to 6, it is dispiriting, because you read it and you go, reverberates in your own mind of your own view of the very, very topical perspective of social and political and religious worlds we live in today. The power of certain religions, the power of certain groups, and it's not money that runs it. Money is kind of, for these people, even in Dune, wealth and prestige and the comforts of wealth are just expected. They're not looked at as anything special. They're not looked at as if they deserve them. It's just there. But they do not see how the billions below them struggle, work very hard to try and improve their way. They're always, the majority of human beings or beings in the Dune series are basically just fodder for a elite few who live and perform almost like a theater that they produce. And the more I read the Dune series, I mean, I want to say there's so I'm basically got Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune, Heretics of Dune, and Chapter House Dune. Basically, you've got an evolving society over thousands and thousands of years from the original Dune characters. I mean, there are characters. There's one. Who is it? There is a character who is, in a sense, in every single novel, and the way this character is reimagined in Frank Herbert's narrative is by technology and by cloning and things like that. So there is a single character that lives who's not actually part of the elite, but in fact he becomes a tool of the elite. And I guess that Frank Herbert talks about that as well. You got the elite, then you got this substrata of people whose entire life is supporting the minority of elites above them, whilst they organise and make sure that the current status quo of wealth and power and status is kept to a minimum at the top of the pyramid. And I think you can say that, and I really do believe that Frank Herbert was writing about his own time, and this time, our time, even though the novels were written 40, 50 years ago, in coming quite relatively quickly, one after the other. So I guess all I've been doing is pontificating about what I think about it. Is it worth reading? It is worth reading, and how to read it. How should you read Frank Herbert's Dune series? I think you should read it quickly and in one. Give yourself a period where you're going to concentrate on this series. Don't attempt to put it down and walk away, because there are so many dynamics, there's so many characters, so many events, so many things that keep the narrative going all the way through 6. And if you keep reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you will maintain that focus and that groove inside the actual story, which just continues. It is like, I guess, if you look at the time capsule in Dune, we're talking, I've just worked, I think it's over 3,500 years. So you're looking from Republic of Rome, right through human history, the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, the New World, democracy, America, and up to the current day. And again, if you read the books all the way through, you kind of live in this sort of Dune society. Now it's funny. While I was going through the series, I was doing a ketamine treatment in Adelaide for various issues, and in 2 of my ketamine trips, because I was so so in. Focused on the Dune novels, I my unconscious mind played out Dune type, what should I say, Dune type incidents or narratives in my head, the ketamine sort of made me. It kind of gives you that. You explore a world that's inside here, but it feels like it's out there, and words like like when you look at the Bene Gesserit, this religious sort of fundamentalist madness of control. And in the ketamine experience, I think I was reading Children of Dune and Dune Messiah. Those were the two books that were happening in that 2-week period in Adelaide. And it's funny. I mean, it kind of enhanced my own personal Dune series experience. So I will definitely look back on this reading experience as a positive. Because it's so good to find a writer who is talking about something that is outlandish, outstanding, and away from us, when in fact, according to me, he's talking about the human experience, the dynamics of power, of wealth, of comfort, of education, that really demonstrates so clearly that what he felt was that human beings are I guess he basically believes human beings are just creatures that need to be corralled, need to be shepherded. It's almost like you need a sheepdog and a sheep herder to make sure that the sheep go through the right pens. And the argument, I guess, of libertarians and things like that is, oh no, we don't need that. We need, blah blah blah. And you go, no, not really. I mean, if we're talking in the Dune universe, we're talking billions upon billions of human beings, and but ultimately, all these people are at the beck and call of a unique and powerful, talented minority who make deals, who take destiny and pretend that they are democratic in the sense that they've got your best interests at heart. Well, they don't. They do not have your best interests at heart. They just don't. They say it because it makes, you try and tell 1 billion people how to behave and where to move and what to do. If you say, yeah, we're doing it all right, we're doing it for you, majority of people are going to go, yeah, you are. So again, Dune is a wonderful, wonderful science fiction series that is a mirror to our contemporary world, filled with characters, great ideas. It's a wonderful series to just totally and utterly lose yourself in it. The language is simple. It's not juvenile, but it's easy to comprehend. And now, thanks to the internet, I mean, you can find glossaries of Dune, you can find summaries of Dune, you can find the characters of Dune. So you can actually make it a full-on Dune experience. And you've also got the films, obviously. But what I'm saying is the books, the literature, the words, to pile into your head over a period of set time that you choose to give yourself in order to enjoy the books. And I would say do it, read it, because reading and thinking and reflecting and submersing yourself in literature has so many benefits. The benefits are a clear mind, you have cognitive power, you're going to make sure that your brain keeps working over, because it's hard to read 6 bloody books in a row. It's hard, it's difficult, it's a challenge. And that's what's good about it. Because when you get to the end of each book, there's a hunger to reach the next one. There's a real hunger to reach the next book. And Dune typically takes a very, we look at the story down the side. It's a very simplistic story about power and control and revolution. So if you're going to read one series in your life, I would suggest the Dune series. Perhaps I would suggest Asimov Foundation series, but that's for another time. But definitely the Dune series is better read than watched. So I hope you enjoy. Well, I don't know if anyone. I doubt if anyone will actually watch this to the end of this episode. But if you do, try and get out there and buy all 6 books, because they are intermittently published. They come out in series every now and again, and I guarantee you go to the bookshop, they'll have the first 4 or the first 1 and the 4th, and not the 2nd or 3rd. So if you see, go to different bookshops, buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's not how they're that's not how they're sold. They're not sold by volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're sold by Dune, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune, which is my favorite, Heretics of Dune, and Chapter House of Dune. So I'm just offering you the beauty of reading. Reading is good for your mind. Reading is healthy. Reading will build knowledge and power and discipline, that as you get older, you're not going to be a roof tile sucking on meat through a straw. All right. Thanks for maybe making it this far, and enjoy the Dune series by Frank Herbert. Bye.